What the fuck is up, interwebs? Welcome to, what am I calling it these days? What did I say I was gonna call this shit? Why don't you listen to rap? That's a pretty good name, I think. So I'm trying to get consistent. We'll see how the fuck this goes. I'm usually too lazy for that shit. But, I wanted to talk about Igor, Tyler's new shit for a minute. I know everybody's gonna be doing a fucking review of it. I'm sure if they haven't already. I seen a couple out there. I didn't really listen to them because not that interested in what people have to say about the shit. I mean, there's no better judge than me for me, and I already heard the shit. So what the fuck am I gonna listen to what you talking about? I don't want to say masterpiece because it sounds a little too dick righty. Shit is dope though. This shit is dope. I've been listening to it for a few days now, pretty much in rotation here and there, especially from around 4 minutes to about fucking 10 minutes. Them two back to back. Those are my shits. What's that shit called? I'm gonna this whole motherfucking time if I don't actually look it up. He got some kind of fucked up spelling on the fucking, you know, word or whatever. Earthquake. That's the one. Running out of time. That's a whole nother song. But that one's ill too. Point being, listen, this motherfucker has really grown into himself. I was always a fan of just the whole lot of Future shit. Like, I fuck with Yonkers, right? I fuck with that whole album and you know, that it was on. And then I was like, oh, they do the videos, they do the artwork themselves, they do everything themselves, like in-house as a collective. And I was like, yeah. And while you're bullshitting, I think they kind of might have paved the way. I don't know the timelines, but for crews like New Era, ASAP, I feel like our Future was popping before those guys, and it kind of paved way for like this collective of like in-house type shit, which I'm a fan of. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, I gotta say, this motherfucker, man, like, he could always rap, and that's what this shit is about. This channel, at least, or whatever the fuck, at least these couple videos I got thus far. And that's why we're talking about him, because the dude could always rap, but just his production has stepped up to a whole nother level. And like, if you don't agree, you're fucking retarded. It just sounds amazing. Like, it's a beautiful piece of work. And this whole thing is about me jumping out the gym on what I think is gonna happen. Not the whole thing, but part of it. And Tyler, the Creator, is gonna go down as the Kanye of his generation. And people are like, well, I don't want to call him a Kanye, then because he's his own. Fuck all that shit. You know what the fuck I mean. I'm talking about interesting, creative, dope ass music that mainstream accepts, that is hip hop. And I appreciate the shit. It's a fucking ride. This is dark twisted fantasy in my mind, in my opinion rather. But that brings me to a subject, because he was on Twitter and he was talking about, he had a whatever, blah blah blah. What genre is this? He says, what genre is this? As if he himself is admitting that it is hard to place this into a specific genre. Now this goes to a much bigger conversation, because all the time they talk about, for lack of a better word, mumble rap or whatever the fuck, you know, I don't know. What the fuck does, you know, I don't even want to say Lil Pump, because it's a bad example, because he's rapping. But this like sing-song melodical bullshit that's been going on, like, that's not hip-hop. I wish I had I might insert the fucking clip from Jadakiss right here. Hopefully that worked out. But he's wrong, and that's what a lot of people, in all respect, I mean, he's a fucking legend, right? And I don't use the word lightly. Lightly. He was saying they don't split up other genres like that, right? They don't do that shit with like rock and roll. False, okay? Have you heard of fucking blues? And then did you hear of jazz after that? And then did you hear of rock and roll? Did you hear of soft rock, hard rock, heavy metal, punk, ska, rockabilly? All these genres of something of the same base. And that's what we're going through today, is a musical renaissance. And now the base is hip-hop. That's it. These genres are not the same. If you don't have elements of like hip-hop, how are you doing hip-hop? Because you're black or Latin? Now you're doing hip-hop? No, you're not. How about you can rap and not be doing hip-hop? How about that? You motherfuckers heard of Blondie? Rapture? Well, do me a favor and go Google some culture. Because she was rapping on that shit. And people know she's rapping on that shit. But no one ever considered that hip-hop. Why the fuck not? Because the music didn't sound like it. The beats didn't sound like it. The what? What the subject matter? What was it? Whatever makes that not hip-hop is the same thing that makes lil motherfucking Uzi Vert not hip-hop. And that's not a fucking insult. I'm saying we need to give these dudes some more credit for maybe the genre bending shit that they're doing and the new shit that they're creating. And also let's give hip hop a little fucking credit as well for not doing it. It's just not the same, bro. It's not the same. They're not doing hip hop, and that's not an insult. That's not a slight to say you're not doing hip hop. Just because you rap doesn't mean you do hip hop. But if you only fucking sing, how is that hip hop? Why is Mary J. Blige not do hip hop then? How's that not hip hop? Her beats be grimier than half of these motherfuckers. Like, cause she sings. It's rhythm and blues. Now, a lot of these motherfuckers, it's like they're doing this sing-songy shit that you wouldn't really call rhythm and blues, but you ain't got elements of it. But just because it has elements, like Blondie, like Mary J. Blige, doesn't mean it's fucking hip-hop. And I'm tired of this shit. Now, everybody says that's some old head shit to say, and I'm an in-between head, motherfucker. I don't know what that is, but I might have to coin a new phrase. Point being is, that's not hip-hop. Even if you're rapping, is potentially not hip-hop. Lil Nas X, perfect example. Country said that wasn't country because it had 808s in it. Fucking Dave V said it's not fucking hip-hop, or he said it's whack. He might have just said it's whack. Which I don't disagree with if we're talking about hip-hop. For country, it's fucking fire. For hip-hop, it's fucking doodle. So where are we going to put it? When the country chart says this shit is not country enough, we say, oh, that's racist. And I agree. It is racist as fuck. But what? And the reason is because it's clearly a country song. It's clearly a country song. That shit is not hip hop. So why the fuck is what Lil Uzi does hip hop? Or you know, I hate to keep picking on the motherfucker, but I mean just these sing-songy ass motherfuckers. Even you look at Tekashi ass, snitch ass. I don't know what you call that. You just screaming on beat like it's a little more rock and roll. Half these motherfuckers call themselves rock stars. Why is that not okay? They don't do hip hop. That's not me hating. And that's not the man being divisive. You just do different music. Just because you black or Latin doesn't mean you fucking do hip hop. And just because you rap doesn't mean you fucking do hip hop. So, with that being said, what is this? What genre is this? I don't know. It's certainly hip-hop fucking infused. It's certainly inspired by, but he's doing hella singing on it. It's like, what the fuck? The Love Below. What was The Love Below? You calling The Love Below hip-hop? Granted, it was fucking nominated for the album, and he's rapping on it, but he's doing like just cool shit. So that's not me shitting on it by saying it's not hip hop. That's me saying, how about we give it credit for what it is, and then be able to then give Black Thought credit for being incredible at hip hop. But when we dilute it with everything that's got elements of hip hop, then Black Thought can't get his proper shine because, you know, he's buried under the little Uzi Verts when he doesn't even do the same fucking music. What are we talking about here? Let me know what you think in the comments. I guess I don't really give a fuck, but let's get some rules to this shit, please. Doodle.